Whether you want to agree or not, Monster Hunter is one of those games that still has monsters that whether you really don't want to fight them, you got to anyway. I mean, we love just about everything we can get from this game. The creativity, the designs, but let's be real. There are some monsters that we hate. And I mean hate with a passion. We hate the fact that we have to fight them. We hate the fact that we have to endure them. And we hate the fact that we don't get that one piece that we need the first time when we fight them. And unfortunately, that means we have to go back and run that fade yet again. But today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most hated monsters that I've basically seen in discussions or at least some comment sections from the community. At number 10, I have Duna. Now, Duna basically gets the number 10 spot because he is relatively new to this whole thing. It's still a new monster, yet it's actually the most hated really right now. I even think in some cases, some people say they hate it even more than a Jarkin because all it really does is flail around, belly flop, and just bend the water around it. Again, that's its moveset, so I'm not sure how y'all could be really hating on a monster that has a moveset based on its environment. It's the heaviest Leviathan till date, or probably the second heaviest, because again, Jindaha does have a bit more. I would probably say Jindaha does have a bit more mass because of its more metallic or like nature, if you will. But overall, I understand the hatred. It's a interesting monster, nevertheless. Don't get me wrong, but again, people hate it because of all the belly flops it does. How it's honestly, some people say it's a really pointless and unnecessary fight. But again, it's the apex of the Scarlet Force. So again, I'm not really sure how y'all hate it that much because of how it moves and how it really does things. And again, if y'all hated it before, then y'all really gonna hate that Arch Temple one because I've been looking forward to that. And I called it. They were going to do Duna next. And we know the third one is going to be New Udra. Now that one, that one's going to be an absolute menace. By the way, do we also notice how like Arch Tempered monsters now have this sort of purple hue on their skin now? Like it was actually present with Ray Dow in his I think it's blades, if you will. But again, with Duna, this may actually be his more blue-like patterns becoming purple. And this actually could be interesting because that means there could be an Elder Dragon in the area, considering Arch Temper monsters are meant to have the same energy levels as Elder Dragons because Elder Dragons are actually existing naturally in their environment. And, well, obviously, they do radiate this form of energy that other monsters can absorb. So, hopefully, it's Namiel and not Camilleos, but only time will tell. But overall, yes, Duna does get the number 10 spot because people do hate the fact that it's a very, I guess you could say, nuisance when it fights. But on to the next one. Number 9 is everybody's favorite B-52 bomber. That is obviously Basil Goose. Now, why is Basil Goose hated by the community? Again, pretty popular monster, but again, it does have the people who, obviously have logical reasons to hate it. It literally raids your hunts. And to believe it or not, I am one of the few people that when I actually play a game or when I actually play Monster Hunter World and doing the master rank or high rank missions that involve particular monsters that are not Elder Dragons, I take out Basil Goose first. I don't care. I will hunt it down personally just to make sure it is not there to interfere. And again, I see some other players actually do this. They will actively go out of their way to take out Basil Goose before they pretty much go and hunt the main monster that they need. And again, even with Seething Basil Goose, that is because, again, it is the main problem when it comes to these hunts. Even more so than Devil Joe. At least with Devil Joe, you can kind of expect it to show up. But again, with Basil Goose, you can be so focused on the monster that all of a sudden it just dive bombs you. At least with Devil Joe, it literally just walks in and announces its presence. Unlike Basil Goose, who just straight up just, you hear the theme song. And then next thing you know, it's coming down to bomb you. Out of nowhere. And this is why it is one of the few monsters that is genuinely hated by the community. And again, sometimes it'll just drop those bombs around you and just come on in. But that does have to do with its ecology being a scavenger and the fact that it really does prey upon weakened monsters when they're just about to die by the hunter. So yeah, it definitely takes the number 9 spot. Number 8 is the chokehold himself, Elatrion. Come on now, we all should have saw this one coming. I mean, it's the man, the myth, the legend, the black dragon that literally had all of Monster Hunter World in a choke community. And you know why that is? Because you couldn't use Blast on it. One of the most powerful weapons or one of the most powerful ailments or, abilities in Monster Hunter. Yeah, you couldn't use it. Unfortunately, it did nothing against this guy. And this is one of the few reasons why people hate it. Because everybody was using, raging Brachydioses or regular Brachydioses weapons. Especially me with like the whole insect glaive. And keep in mind, this is coming from people who had just beaten Sapphire Jiva with it. And the weapons and stuff were not out yet. So, we went with the best monster we thought. And that was either Koltaroth or, Raging Brachydios at that time. And the funny part about it is, just having it be on this list is absolutely hilarious. Because again, I thought it was going to go in another playlist, but I definitely could replace it very easily. Sorry, not another playlist, another top 10. But again, the sheer fact that people were they hated Elatrion. Because again, people had either trash devs or people who had their newest armors and just never leveled them up. That has to be one of the biggest upsets about anyone who's been trying to get past Elatrion. But the sheer fact that blast weapons just didn't work. It held people back so many times. And this is one of the few reasons why afterwards I did switch up to Koltaroth in order to actually get that dub. So yeah, Golden Dragon Mommy definitely solved it, but y'all ain't hear that from me. Y'all don't need to know I'm a down bad man for some monster chicks and all that. But anyway, yes, Elatrion is definitely on this list, especially after the whole Eschaton judgment. I mean, people were looking like, how am I supposed to avoid this? What the heck am I supposed to do? And in all honesty, I just kept using the cast throw and just kept going back to base and just let it finish it out, then just coming back and just repeating it all of it. But yeah, definitely texting number 8. At number 7, I think it was probably obvious he was going to be on this list. The hip check destroyer himself, the thighs that have destroyed so many minds, Plesioth. There's no way you could not have a top 10 most hated monsters list or a top 10 most traumatizing monsters list without this one. Like there's no way. There's no way you cannot have Plesioth off this. You could literally be 10 feet away from this man, and this man is going to hip check you with the force of 700 Darth Vaders. There is no way you're getting off this list. There's no way you are not going to be on this list, because I was so sick and tired of having to deal with this thing constantly hip checking me in the Great Desert. Even when I was fighting another monster in Monster Hunter Frontier like Baruga Guru, and this thing came out of nowhere, decided to set himself up while my back was turned, mind you, focusing on Baruga Guru, and I just didn't notice him for some reason, and he decided to hip check me. Not body slam me, not water blast me or anything. Dude literally lined himself up just to hip check me. I swear if they bring him back in Wilds, I'm about to crash out. I don't even care if he is a perfect desert monster other than Seragios. I will crash out. I don't care. It just doesn't need to happen. And then the audacity to give this thing special variants or, special subspecies or rare subspecies or something like that, where this thing had ice abilities. Ice. Like, it wasn't bad enough that we had to deal with the hip checks and stuff like that. No, now we got to deal with the sheer fact that it has ice. And I think there's another variant as well that just had, it was either water or some type of other manipulation. I cannot remember for the life of me. I just remember the ice one. But overall, yes, He was going to be on this list whether we liked it or not. Everyone knows good and well that the hip-checking Plesioth was destroying everyone's lives. It doesn't matter if you were fighting another monster. If he was in the area, he was coming there, lining himself up like he's getting ready to hit you with a full-blown combo, but instead, he is going to hit you with the greatest hip check of all time. But yeah, he definitely gets the number 7 spot on this list. But now let's move on to number 6. Number 6 is Barryoth. Yeah, surprisingly, believe it or not. But yeah, this dude was actually pure menace to players, in all honesty. And in all honesty, I also think he does get hated because when it comes to like the Tigrex and Nargacuja fandoms, or, you know, the Cat Wyvern fandoms, I should actually say, Barryoth is actually the most hated, despite the fact that Tigrex, you know, literally pounces on you halfway across the arena. Nargacuja literally jumps around you 24/7, blindsides you. And then there's Barryoth, who simply uses Ice Tornadoes, Ice Barrage, and then that little tail sweep, and then its own hit check. Yeah, Barryoth is definitely not too light, but then Frostfang Barryoth just comes in and it just adds to the fun now, doesn't it? Now, the reason why I've actually seen people actually hate Barryoth is because they feel like he adds nothing. Even from the what is their names? Raging Gaming Videos or Raging Game Videos channel that actually expressly state, or at least one of them stated, that they just straight out hate Barryoth because they feel like he adds nothing. Tigrex is brute strength and, you know, durability and endurance. Nargacuja and speed and agility, and then he just questions that, like, what the heck is Barryoth even for? And the funny part is, Barryoth is actually pretty simple. He's intelligence and versatility. Think about it. We don't see a monster that can literally, we don't see out of the other 3 having the most versatility other than Barryoth. Tigrex has its roars, its brute strength, and tail whips, and he's the simplest of the 2. Nargacuja has its agility and its speed, which make it keep you on your toes. And then Barryoth forces you to think, to plan, to outmaneuver, okay? He is one of the few monsters that have, you know, been challenging. And again, this is honestly because he specializes in hunting down small prey. Now, yes, he can ambush and take down larger creatures, but he actually prefers to prey upon smaller ones. So things like Great Baggy, Great Azuchi and stuff like that, Lagambi, and Kezu and stuff like that, he actually prefers to prey on them, including the likes of Midzutsune and I would definitely say Somnicanth. While they are not small monsters, they're in a range to where he can actually prey upon them and take them down. So monsters like Gauss Harang and, you know, Tigrex, Devil Joe, Reang, you know, the larger monsters that obviously visit the Hoarfrost region, and even the likes of Ebony Odogaron definitely give him a hard time, and Legiana, all pretty much just give him too much of a hard time to where taking them down is simply not worth it, and he keeps them to territorial disputes, but if he can kill them, he will eat them. But yeah, he definitely gets the number 6 spot. Number 5 is the command grabber himself, Reang. No matter how many times you blocked, no matter how many times you moved, no matter how many times you thought that man was actually, you know, not gonna grab you this time, he grabbed you. Then he ran off with you and did unspeakable things to your character. He lubed you up with all that baby oil and he he took everything from you. Oh no. The Reang trauma. But anyway, with that being said, here Reang is definitely one of the few monsters I've actually seen people hate. This man literally non-stop will grab you at times, then has the audacity to fake like he's being hurt. You come in with the finishing blow or something, and then all of a sudden you're uppercutted through the battlefield or something like that. Then this man has the audacity to give you an uppercut from the underworld itself. Then they got the audacity to give you a furious Reang who's already in an always angry state. I don't get it. Who decided to make this monster? Who decided, oh, this was such a good idea. Let me get a monster that's going to constantly grab you, and then the audacity to have it run off with you to a whole nother area where you just ain't got no business being. Like, it would actually be funny if he actually grabs you and carries you off into a whole nother environment entirely. Like, just imagine that, right? He's gonna kill you somewhere else. Dude grabs you and is like, all right, we about to go on a field trip. And just takes you all the way to the you go from the Hoarfrost Reach or something like that, right? And then you wind up in the ancient forest. Like, bro, what? Why? How? This man would nonstop grab you. He just can't stop. Won't stop. Like, you might as well just start giving this man something. I don't know, add some baby oil or something to it. He gonna just grab you. He gonna grab you anyway and take you all somewhere. So obviously your teammates ain't never gonna see you again, and you ain't never gonna know what they do to you. So he might as well just start having some baby oil or maybe some lubrication that's needed for it. But yeah, he definitely takes the number 5 spot. At number 4, I definitely have to say it's Narwa and Ibushi, the Storm Dragons, the Storm couple, if you will. And in all honesty, it's actually quite interesting, though. It's very possible that Narwa and Ibushi do reproduce via, well, normal means. But again, it is kind of interesting to see two different entire, I guess you could say, sexual dimorphisms really come together and make it work. At least, in Moss Hunter. And again, it's very possible they do raise their young together, with the biggest threat to them being the likes of Amatsu. And if you guys are wondering where that theory came from, it's from Unnatural Histories, where I could definitely see that the biggest threats to them are obviously Nergigante, Malzeno if they get out of hand, Primordial by the way, and then Amatsu may view their young as competition, and well, delicious. But overall, yeah, these guys are hated by the fandom. Now again, obviously what this comes down to this list, everyone still loves these monsters at the end of the day. But again, we're talking about the reasons why they are some of the most hated. So the reason why I definitely have to say Narwa is the most hated is because of her constant stun abilities. All the paralysis and stunning she does here, plus the fact that you do have to fight her in a much more cramped arena with her all-mother Narwa state. And then there's Ibushi, the dragon flipper himself. Most people actually get annoyed with him because, again, of the constant air barrages that simply jet you into the air just so that he can constantly follow up on it. Again, creative monsters nevertheless, but again, they are very repetitive when it comes to their combat. I understand that I do like Diablos and stuff like that, and I have no complaints about the combat. But again, this is from other people's opinions of what I've seen. Me personally, I like every monster except for the last one. Yeah, so the last one is definitely going to be a bit more personal for me. But again, at the end of the day, these two are hated. Narwa, because she can use multiple attacks that can just inflict a status effect upon status effect, and it just makes it unbearable at certain points when it comes to certain fights. And again, I've actually seen people just quit because, again, Narwa is just absolutely, sorry, not Narwa, all Mother Narwa is just absolutely difficult, especially with those amplified attacks and her ultimate, which for no reason needs to be that complicated. I will agree on that. But now that we are done with number 4, on to the top 3. And number 3 is obviously Black Diablos. Hey baby, how you doing? Now again, I always love Diablos. Obviously, if y'all saw my top 10 favorite monsters list, I love Diablos in all of its glory. The male, the females, the bloodbath himself, even the golden horn menace back in online. But anyway, Black Diablos has to be one of the most, I definitely say one of the biggest pains to deal with. And I remember seeing like complications in World, and then also my own experience in Moss Hunter World with Black Diablos. See, me and my team were actually doing great, but we had one teammate that kept dying to Black Diablos. I don't know whether she was targeting him or not, but she kept just targeting him over and over again, while most of us had like better weapons. I had my hammer and stuff, being able to damage her, but she kept charging at, like, she like would aim at one of us, but then just like curveball and go to somebody else. It's absolutely ridiculous. And again, the fact that she's more aggressive, she's able to do that little aim charge and stuff like that. Plus, she hits harder. Then it's just she's a menace. All right, like all around, just a straight up menace. She's a problem. The fact that she can burrow faster, and in all honesty, it feels like she could switch directions with it. Her jump is far higher, or far longer, as are her sweeps that cover more area and stuff like that. Everything she does is just can be unbearable for certain players and stuff like that. In all honesty, I love her. Again, I love her, but I also do understand why people hate her. So yeah, Black Diablo's definitely made the list. But again, she's only number 3. Now let's go to number 2. Now come on now. Number 2, you guys already knew he was going to be on here. It's Kusha Deora, the literal wind buster himself. The wind chamber monster, all right? The tornado buster, all right? Dude could literally breathe, eat, sleep, and I'm not even going to go that far. Yeah, this dude can create tornadoes and even spams them to no problem. One of the few reasons why I see people hate Kusha Deora, and in all honesty, I understand it, because actually experiencing myself, or experiencing, this in World and Rise, this dude literally knows how to lock you up in an instant. And I mean, dude can have a tornado battlefield. He's sometimes difficult to get close to. And then it's just how he is. The way he'll like trample you. He'll use tornadoes in like certain ways that actually pins the player in a way that you just can't move, and he kind of just starts bombarding you after that. Because imagine getting hit from a tornado into a tornado, then another tornado, and then this man has the audacity to use Dragon Element and then produced a black tornado to hit you with Dragon Blight. Then this man still has the audacity to do what Narwa and Ibushi do. Technically, he is the original of it, but again, he's an absolute pain in the butt with this. He's able to produce tornadoes that are able to literally lock you or knock you into the air. Then he'll follow up with his own pounce attack and stuff like that. Then they had the audacity to give this man a risen form, like he wasn't already being a straight demon itself. And then the audacity to have him like literally hit you with a golden black tornado nuke. Like, there's no way you can tell me that his moveset is not made to just piss off players. This man hits you with everything and the kitchen sink. And then has the audacity to y'all have the audacity just to ramp him up over and over and over again. I mean, geez. Arch Temper was already a pain in the butt. Then you already have him with his risen form. I swear, if they ever make a canon subspecies other than Rusted Kusha Deora again, I swear it has to be like something unique and something different. I'm actually kind of surprised that since we find Kusha Deora in the Arctic, there isn't an ice variant of him. But yeah, Kusha Deora definitely takes the number 2 spot for all the raging. And finally, we have Kezu. Come on now, there's no way he wasn't going to be on this list. It's Kezu, the literal bane of everybody's existence. And I know about y'all hear me outs. Understandable, but still, this is one of the few monsters I hate as well. And it's simply because of him constantly roaring, and then as soon as you're about to hit him again, he roars again. And then sometimes he'll do it like 3 times in a row. And even when times where he's not even in, getting hit or anything, he still roars. Like, there's no way y'all can convince me this dude was not made to just piss off players. And I mean, back in the Monster Hunter Frontier games, oh my gosh, I hated his Xenoform. It was 10 million times worse. Now you must say, oh yeah, it's like that with Xenos. It's Kezu. It is Kezu, for crying out loud. I understand what people want to do to that mouth. Got disgusting. Understandable. But it's the sheer fact that you could literally max out your earplugs, especially when like you have the Tiger X armor. I have the Tiger X combined with Nargacuja, so I have like max earplugs and stuff like that, and yet I can't do anything. Like, this dude's roar is literally the bane of earplugs. And then I wonder how an Duna armor would actually do. And I'm scared to even think that, oh well, maybe they wouldn't be able to actually hurt him. But again, I find that to be a very big lie. Yeah, I just don't understand it. But yeah, Kezu definitely gets on this list. But ugh, I swear, if there was another annoying monster, maybe it could top Kezu. But again, I don't think any, monster can top Kezu when it comes to annoyance and hatred. But that is going to be all for today, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. We only have 4 Monster Hunter videos after this, and then I will be getting into Transformers content. So, with that being said, yeah, you guys have a blessed day.